Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Harry Maguire has lashed out. Harry Maguire confronted Ed Woodward in a meeting after the players were left in dark over the European Super League plans. Bruno Fernandes was also talking about it recently. Now, like I updated you this morning, Gary Neville has had quite a lot to say regarding this European Super League. Gary Neville calls the Glazer family to sell Manchester United and leave the country. He said the Glazers are scavengers. And he said he thought it was a criminal act. Now, a few days ago, it came out from Sky Sports saying that 12 clubs have agreed to join this new European Super League. Some clubs have quit the European Club Association. Ed Woodward, our chairman, recently resigned from his UEFA senior role. Everybody is against this, apart from the owners of clubs. I'm very sceptical that this will go ahead, because it will basically destroy the entire game. You know, the Glazers are planning to ditch the Champions League for the European Super League. There's also been narratives coming out saying that Man United and Manchester City games in the semi-final of Europe won't be going ahead. I think there's also been talks of some clubs getting taken out of the Premier League. You know, I think there's been talks of some points being deducted. You know, I only understand some of this. I don't understand all of it. Even the government are against this. You know, they've said they'll do everything they can to prevent this from happening. So, there you go. Now, you know the news on the transfers and that, don't you? Nothing much more to really update regarding the transfers. The other day, I gave you the news on Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. It says apparently Man United are one of the favourites to sign Ousmane Dembele, and we are ahead of Liverpool in the race. Barcelona would accept around 43.3 million. Last year, we wanted to get Ousmane Dembele on loan with the option to buy, but our wishes never materialised. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist and is close to Man United, he said that Ousmane Dembele is set to hold talks with Barcelona over a new contract. Now, it said quite a few weeks ago that we'd been dealt a blow in our chase for Dembele, because it said it's very likely that Ousmane Dembele will stay at Barcelona. And Ronald Koeman hopes he stays, and Barcelona are willing to offer him a 3-year contract. Ousmane Dembele has been at Barcelona now quite a few years. Barcelona got him in a deal worth 135 million from Dortmund. Barcelona paid like £97 million up front. He's sustained quite a few injuries at Barcelona, so he is injury prone. He's got like 14 months left on his current contract. I liked Ousmane Dembele when he was at Dortmund. I also liked him when he was at Rennes when he was younger. You know the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. I'll go through with you again about it. So, reports from Spain said quite a few days ago now that Man United were in advanced talks with Rafael Varane. And it said Rafael Varane to Man United is close. Real Madrid's asking price is £60 million, but we hope to lower Real Madrid's asking price. He says, we are preparing a transfer bid and Rafael Varane is ready to leave Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. Now, we do face competition for Rafael Varane because Bill's Christian Falk recently said that Chelsea have entered the race. So, reflecting on that, Chelsea are looking to hijack our move. Eduardo Inda, the Spanish transfer expert, said earlier on this season that Rafael Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. His contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. It looks very, very likely he's not going to be signing a new contract. Earlier on this season, it said that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane on one condition. He must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. But I'd certainly take him at Manchester United. Main explanations is because he's a world-class centre-half. He'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line. He's highly experienced, he's 27 years of age, and he would exceed expectations in the Premier League. Hasn't played in the Premier League yet. You know, he's endured like 10 years at Real Madrid, so he's been a long servant. Got a good pedigree behind him as a player because, you know, he's won like 18 major honours at Madrid. He's made over 300 appearances. Real Madrid got him for next to nothing. They only paid €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. There has been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda. He said the other week that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. Now, I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Declan Rice from West Ham. Recent narratives said that Declan Rice is interested in joining Manchester United, and apparently he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. West Ham are demanding £100 million. He's a good player, Declan Rice, but I can assure he's not worth £100 million. I reckon he's worth from between £60 to £70 million. He said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. The main explanations I'd take Declan Rice is because he's well proven in the Premier League. He's predominantly holding midfielder, but he can be deployed as a centre-half. And he dramatically improves us. And he's still young and he's got a lot of development in him. Rice has been at West Ham like 7 years now, made over 100 appearances in the Premier League. He's got a contract at West Ham till 2024. You know, before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years, but he never got in Chelsea's first team squad. You already know the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. The last time I read up, he said that we've been given a new Jadon Sancho transfer price by Dortmund. Dortmund are open to selling Sancho for 86 million, so they have lowered their asking price because initially Dortmund were demanding £108 million. And Borussia Dortmund have admitted that they'll offload Sancho for the right price in the summer, but Borussia Dortmund have made it clear they will not let him go for a cut price fee. Because he said earlier on this season, we believe we can get Jadon Sancho for around £50 million. And you already know the news on Erling Haaland. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. Quite a few players I think are going to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. There's a good chance that Edison Cavani will leave. I give you the news on him this morning. He says Edison Cavani has confirmed his decision. According to multiple reports in South America, Edison Cavani has informed Manchester United that he's leaving at the end of the season. If he leaves at the end of the season, I'll be disappointed, and I presume a lot of Man United fans will be disappointed because I want him to stay for next season. A lot of United fans do, and I presume that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would like him to stay for next season because he has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. You know, in a lot of his games at Man United, his hold-up play's been good, he's created chances, he's scored goals, his movement in and out of the box has been good. But there's been some games where he hasn't got enough service and he's looked isolated, Edison Cavani. His current contract expires at the end of the season, but there's an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Now, it recently said that we'd been handed a boost in our attempt to keep hold of Edison Cavani because the Uruguay manager advised Edison Cavani to stay in Europe. Prior to the game against Tottenham not so long ago, Solskjaer said he was unsure over Cavani's future. We've already held showdown talks with Cavani over his future at the club. It's looking very, very imminent that he's going to be going to Boca Juniors. Footballer Insider said not so long ago that Cavani's willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. He's already got a verbal agreement with them that was mentioned earlier on this season, and Boca Juniors are willing to offer him a 3-year contract. Marcus Rojo, who was a former Man United player, he held conversations with Cavani over a move to Boca Juniors, and he urged Edison Cavani to quit Man United for Boca Juniors by promising to take him fishing. Solskjaer did say though earlier on this season that Cavani was closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Man United. And Cavani's father did say that Cavani's unhappy, he doesn't feel comfortable in England and he wants to leave. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him as a player, you know, because he was very, very good at PSG and he was at PSG for a long time. We could sell Martial in the summer transfer window. I can't assure though we're going to sell him because we might not. But throughout the course of this season, a lot of Man United fans have been demanding Anthony Martial out of the club because, let's be honest, Martial's no longer good enough to represent Man United and he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. The chances have been there for Martial, but he hasn't converted them. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that he's been impressed with Martial's work rate. And he's said he was backing him to rediscover his form. Martial's out with injury. It's looking very, very likely that he's going to be out for the remainder of this season. Solskjaer confirmed that not so long ago. Martial, I reckon, has had 2 good seasons. He was good in his debut season under Van Gaal, and he was good last season. I think it was last season Solskjaer gave him that number 9 shirt. We got Anthony Martial in a deal worth 54 million from Monaco. I think there was add-ons included. But we sell Anthony Martial in the summer transfer window, I reckon we'll get around 30 million. Juan Mata, good chance we'll offload him. My element of concern about Juan Mata, he's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. And he doesn't get in our 11. His current contract expires in June. There's an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Don't forget, towards the start of this season, Juan Mata did reject an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. I reckon Juanma has had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club over 6 years. We got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. He's made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions and he's scored 50 goals. Donny van der Beek, now he could leave Man United in the summer transfer window. I think he should. The main explanation is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. Most of Donny van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. We need to use him more because he's a good player. We got Van der Beek in a deal worth 40 million from Ajax last summer. And, he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. He was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder at Ajax, but you can put him as a number 10 and you can put him out wide. Now, earlier on this season, it said that Man United were considering a Donny van der Beek swap deal. 2O Sports said that Man United are willing to offer Donny van der Beek to Juventus in exchange for Adrian Rabiot. Now, Ronald de Boer has backed Donny van der Beek to become a success at Man United. And he said earlier on this season that he still feels loved at the club despite his lack of game time. Mark Hughes was talking about Van der Beek earlier on this season, saying that he feels lost at the club and he's edging closer to a Man United exit. Now, earlier on this season, Van der Beek said he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future, because he said he wanted to quit Man United after 1 season due to his lack of game time. And ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. Paul Pogba, he could still leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window, but there again, there's a chance he'll stay potentially past the summer. I'd like Paul Pogba to stay, and I presume there's probably quite a few Man United fans that would like him to stay, because Paul Pogba brings creativity to the team, and we've been getting the best out of him in recent months. We really have. Recently, we've been playing Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. I think we need to keep him in that advanced role because that's where he's more effective. I'm not too keen on Pogba in a deeper role, but we've played him as in that deeper role quite a few times, haven't we? Earlier on this season, Pogba had a thigh injury, and he was out for a while with that thigh injury. First part of this season, he had an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So, sustained a few injuries now at Man United. It recently said that Paul Pogba is demanding £500,000 a week to sign a new contract at Manchester United. I'm very sceptical we'll be able to meet his demands, but if we did meet his demands, it would take his overall earnings close to £800,000 a week. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year, because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Pogba recently criticised Jose Mourinho in an exclusive interview with Sky. He says Jose Mourinho went against the players. And he says that Solskjaer's different. So reflecting on that, Paul Pogba is 100% Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. Jose Mourinho hit back at his comments saying that he doesn't care less what he had to say. But Paul Pogba has insisted that he's happy at Manchester United. He's had a long-running transfer saga though. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him, and his former club Juventus have been in for him. I said there's a good chance he'll go back to Juventus if he leaves us in the summer transfer window, because Paul Pogba enjoyed 4 very good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. And, swap deals have been high on the agenda. There was reports from Italy coming out not so long ago saying that there could be a swap deal involving Cristiano Ronaldo and Paul Pogba. I think that would be a good swap deal from a Man United and Juventus perspective. Probably would be. There again, Ronaldo's, 35, 36 now. And it says Juventus willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. Minio Raiola, Paul Pogba's agent, has obviously been desperate to get his client out of the football club. He's been doing a lot of talking, hasn't he, in recent weeks. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid 89 million for him, and this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Nemanja Matic, good chance we'll offload him as well because he's not one of our first choice midfielders, and analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been inconsistent. There's only been a few games where he's showed consistency. I think the club made a mistake by giving him that new 3-year contract before the start of the season. Matic has been at the club almost 4 years now. We got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Phil Jones, I'm expecting us to offload him because 1, he doesn't get in our 11. 2, he's always been inconsistent more or less. And plus he's been out with injury for over a year. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. And this is his 10th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. Diego Dalot, I'm expecting us to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Romero, I'm expecting us to offload him because he's like our 3rd or 4th choice keeper now. And David De Gea, we could still sell him in the summer transfer window. I think if we sell De Gea in the summer transfer window, it will be the right decision because I think Dean Henderson's now our number 1 anyway. But some Man United fans would disagree. Some United fans think it would be a mistake to let De Gea go, but I reckon now De Gea's had his years at Man United. This is his 10th season at the football club. So there you go. But a lot of players are going to stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for him and Manchester United in general. The summer transfer window will be his 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. I'm expecting Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. I've identified the areas where we need to strengthen up. He says earlier on this season that Man United will spend big, but Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window because we've already made it clear that Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. And he'll be Man United manager next season, and I said, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at the club because he has made progress in certain aspects. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative the Europa League is. The Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. And we haven't won a trophy since 2017. So if we didn't win the Europa League this season, that'd be exactly 4 years without a trophy. There's a good chance we'll win the Europa League though. We are in the semi-finals. It's 5 semi-finals now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in total. Roma will be a difficult game. Solskjaer recently spoke about Man United facing Roma in the Europa League semi-finals, and he said Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat for when the players. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 this season in the league. We'll probably finish second. You know, we are still in this title race. Mathematically, we can still win the league. But I don't see it happening. You know, Manchester City are too far in front. You know, they're 8 points clear of us now. But Solskjaer did say recently that we'll never ever give up on the Premier League title. But there has been a lot of Manchester United fans demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they've been demanding him out. I presume there's still a lot of Manchester United fans that are Ole in and they believe that he needs more time at the club. This has been his second full season. You know, next season will be his third full season. I'll stick to what I've said on my other videos. Solskjaer, I don't think, is the long-term manager for Manchester United. But I more than that believe he's the long-term manager because Solskjaer has already agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. Solskjaer still has like a year left on his current 3-year contract. But Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window because obviously Woodward's standing by him. Woodward said not so long ago he believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. And he released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward is backing him. And even when we was enjoying them really bad periods under Ole, you know, Woodward assured that his job was safe. Our board have got a soft stance on Ole with him being a legend of the club. Plus we've obviously got John Murtough, he's our director of football. And obviously we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And Ole's already met up with our recruitment team to discuss our transfer plans for the summer transfer window. I can assure Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. He's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. Ole has been Manchester United manager over 2 years now. Reflecting now on his been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learnt quite a bit on the job. He's tried a few different elements such as different formations. Rotated the squad a lot. You know, Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy as well in his young players. You know, I do have my concerns about Solskjaer, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer. Obviously, he has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He's spent almost £300 million so far. And so far he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows. As permanent Man United manager, that is. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. We have enjoyed very good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency. And in some of them good periods, he's got the best out of the team. You know, this season he's done well in quite a lot of aspects. You know, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Got us to the FA Cup quarter-final and win the Europa League semi-final. You know, last season, his first full season, he guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. We've been very good away from home in the Premier League. We are unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games. So we haven't lost away from home in the league for over a year. You know, Solskjaer has beaten some big name managers as Manchester United manager. So they are the positives. You know, Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. You know, we appointed him in December 2018. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The club decided to give him the job permanently a couple of years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. When Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he did assure that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players. And more or less, everybody has been given their chances. You know? So, anyway guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.